Welcome, and thank you for tuning into this presentation entitled Partnering with a Merchant Service Provider, Things a Merchant Should Consider. The information that follows was prepared by MasterCard to help you, a merchant, get to better know a service provider before you sign a service agreement. By better understanding who you will be working with and the key terms and conditions involved, you can make the right decision for your business. The presentation will provide considerations for selecting a merchant service provider. Let's get started. It is important to know about the service provider. Ask for company materials that detail its background, management team, and their experience. Ask the representative to talk about the core merchant service processing capabilities and who they may use for outsourced services. Find out how they differ from their competitors. Collect references from the service provider's merchant accounts in the area. Try to establish if the merchant service partner is a match to handle your business's needs. Ask for the full name of the service provider so you can contact them in the event of a problem. Ask for contact information for both the sales representative and for your home office. Don't be afraid to call the home office and ask questions. You can ask for references, such as other merchants they've worked for, and you can call those merchants to ask whether they've had a good experience with the service provider. The more you investigate, the more likely it is that you'll have a good experience with the service provider you select. A merchant should read and understand the entire merchant agreement, including the terms that outline point of sale and processing equipment lease, rental, or purchase. A merchant should ask for a clear fee disclosure, which includes how the merchant's discount rate is calculated. The disclosure should include the identity, amount, and corresponding description of all fees to be paid by the merchant. See if there will be an advance notice of a fee increase or a new fee. Understand all of the obligations and fees you will be charged before signing. Also understand the service partner's obligations, including knowing when and how payment will be made for transactions that are required by the service provider. It is also important to understand the MasterCard rules that apply to merchants, as every merchant is required to follow them. MasterCard rules are posted at www.mastercardmerchant.com. Take the time needed to understand how the service provider calculates the monthly merchant discount rate. Merchants with tiered pricing often focus on the qualified category but may not understand what causes transactions to downgrade to mid-qualified and non-qualified. A merchant can educate itself and become conversant in the pricing method used to calculate the merchant discount rate, including, by way of example, typical methods such as pass-through, interchange plus markup, bundled pricing, and/or tiered rates. Inquire about transaction processing conditions that could impact the monthly merchant discount rate, such as items like premium credit card, card not present, manually keyed transactions, commercial cards, and missed nightly batching. Being a merchant that makes careful and informed decisions requires taking the time to understand all fees, not just the merchant discount rate. It is important to know all the fees you might be charged, both how much and why. The merchant agreement should clearly list all fees and explain them. If your business is already accepting card payments, you may want to compare charges by your current service provider to other providers. Look at how the fees line up and compare by inquiring about them line by line. Understand if the point of sale equipment is to be leased, rented, or purchased. Understand if equipment is new or refurbished. Take time to read through all material. Understand how much you will be paying for the point of sale equipment over the term. Merchants that lease equipment should want to understand total lease costs and total lease period. You can inquire about procedures the service provider follows when a terminal fails, and whether servicing is done by reprogramming or replacing the devices. Don't wait for your first problem or question to arise before obtaining your service provider's customer support contact information. Have this information handy to ensure there's no major delays if you have a problem. Understand if services are provided locally or only via the telephone, and if support is available 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Ask and learn about what support is provided if a question or problem arises, including what you can expect if your point-of-sale equipment fails. Point-of-sale terminal downtime can mean lost sales. Customer response time is important. Customer disputes and chargebacks are not pleasant, but merchants can help avoid disputes by ensuring that transactions are properly presented and that the terms and conditions of the purchase are made clear. Once a chargeback has been processed, you may want to work with your service provider to decide whether to accept or fight the chargeback. Ask the service provider for information to help you avoid chargebacks. Many merchant agreements and point-of-sale lease agreements have termination clauses. The merchant should understand the terms of an agreement the merchant enters into. Make sure to understand termination conditions. Merchants should also be sure to understand any opt-out features within the agreement that permits the merchant to terminate the agreement in the event of a fee increase. A best practice is for a merchant to review billing statements monthly to ensure that charges are appropriate. If you have questions, you can contact the service provider. It's a good idea to keep copies of pricing modification notices as well as the merchant agreement. Thank you for your time and attention today. Congratulations on completing this education module, partnering with a merchant service provider. Things a merchant should consider. Please view our additional merchant information available at MasterCard.com.